everybody. Welcome to Aspects Land of a Changing Man. My name is Gold, bringing you another episode. Just want to thank everybody for coming, listening to the show, supporting the show, liking, following, listening, sharing. I thank everyone for being here, listening to it, and seeing how it applies to their life, to see if they can make a change for a better relationship. That's what I think God brought me here for, to be able to do this, to be able to share my perception on situations as far as what I think hurts a relationship and how we can see through the mirror of who we are to change that, to make it a better place. If you want to hit me up, my email address is mplsmikid@yahoo or gmail.com, at mplsmikid on Twitter, mplsmikid on Instagram. Gold Washington is my personal Facebook, and Aspects Land of a Changing Man is the Facebook for this podcast. Well, I thank everyone for coming to, listen to another episode. Like I said before, I know I repeat myself sometimes and ramble on, or apologize, but it's a great experience to be here and to actually be able to think about situations and try to find a solution for them. I know yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I hope that as we wake up today, away from yesterday, a lot of people celebrated and showing their affection towards another person. But I'm hoping that people wake up today and treat their partner as good as they did yesterday, or just keep it going. We can't give up just because of one day of treating our partner good and showing them affection. We got to do it multiple days. We got to do it every day to show our affection. Even when we're mad at our partners, we got to be able to think of how we want to treat them good in that situation to keep it going. So as we wake up today, remember, you want your partner to feel as special as she did yesterday, every day, so that you can get through the year and repeat that every year. I want to talk about a situation I was looking at, I was thinking about, and I started to see kind of a connection between both situations as people relate their job with their relationship. And what I mean by that is how people feel about how they're going through the situation of their job, how they're treating their job, how they're treating their life with a companion, can relate to it. The stresses of a job, the freedom of how you do things, as far as, if you're connected to your job. I'm not saying this is like everybody, but, a lot of people are not stable when it comes to a relationship, and they're not stable when it comes to a job either. A lot of people, when they're looking for, when they get a job, they feel like the job is just good enough, and they may settle for just a good enough, relationship. And, it's like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like with the situation of your job? Is it good? Is it somewhere you would continue working? Would you want to stay there for a long time? Is it just something that you feel like would pay the bills for the time being, but you're looking for something else? All those factor into, they can all factor into how you're treating your relationship. I look at the situation I was in, when I was looking for, just a good enough job. I was looking for just a good enough relationship or good enough time, somebody just to hang with, because I knew in my mind this wasn't, a full-time thing. If it were to work towards a full-time thing, like a forever thing, I would be okay with that. but I wasn't really focused on staying in that stable place. And when it came to the relationships I was in, I was just picking up whatever I could. Um, as far as a person, I wasn't really looking at how long term this was going to work. And the way I looked at it was because I seen like a couple of situations between people that got me thinking about the subject. I mean, when I think about subjects, they just pop in my head, and I just start thinking about them, analyzing them, and finding out, oh well, that's really something. But um, I I look at other people's situations, and um, when I think about a subject, I look at other people's situations and try to relate it to it to see how it works as far as relating it to them. And with this subject, it was really relatable because a lot of jobs aren't satisfying when it comes to payment, to benefits, to a long term with them. So uh, people kind of relate that to their relationship. They don't feel like the relationship is just long term. They're not looking for forever until like they feel the job is going to be forever, and they start looking for how they can be in this situation forever. And I kind of explained that wrong. Like, not wrong, but I kind of wasn't explaining it right to where it was understandable. Let's say you get into a job like McDonald's where you're just trying to pay your bills. You're just trying to have some money, and you're hoping that, working this job is going to, help pay for the things that you feel like you have to pay. And let's say you find somebody that you're just talking to, and they might not be the idealistic person, but they're just there. They're able to satisfy you in the things you feel like you need at the moment, as far as loneliness, when it comes to, you being lonely. And you work in McDonald's, they treat you right. They treat you right. They look at you. They give you a raise. You don't have any problems there. You're looking at your bills are paid, and you have a little bit of extra money, which is, some people are looking like, how could you have it? But I mean, it's just an idea. So you have some extra money. You're positive about the job. You have no problems with it. Anything that you feel like you need help with, as far as like the kids or whatever being sick, they have no problems. You know, um, they have no problems with you not coming in because of the fact that the kids are late. The kids have to go to school. Or they're sick. Situations like that. But then the problems start to come in. You start to see holes in the situations. Bills start to pack on. Stress is starting to get to you. Uh, the company isn't treating you as right as you feel, and you start looking at it like, hey, I can look for another situation. I can find better. I can leave this place if I want to. This is not. I wasn't looking at this to be a forever thing, anyways. And a lot of people can go home, look at that person, and be like, "You don't treat me like I want you to. You do this and you do that. You don't have this much money as I want you to have. I could leave you if I want to and go find something else that's better." And they may feel the same way about a relationship, the same time that they're feeling the same way about their job. Because they're now seeing that they're not satisfied in both. So they're looking at it like, I can actually go find better. I can actually leave this and go look for something else. I mean, some people will, in the process, they tell you don't leave your job until you find another one. And some people might not leave the relationship until they find something else to go to. I've done that a lot, always have a backup plan, but I had to stop doing that due to the fact that in a relationship, it's not right to be talking to someone as you're talking to somebody else. It's not an equal thing, and I may have applied it to my jobs, but at the same time, what's not right is not right. You may be in a situation where the job is not ready, willing to work with you as much, and you're like, man, I could just leave here. And in a relationship, you look at your partner like, man, you don't, work problems out with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through all this, and what are you doing for me? When you get happy because you get a raise, you're looking at it like, hey, benefits are coming now. And it may happen the same way you look at a relationship, like, hey, now I see you working with me. Now I see you actually trying, because the job tried, and you seen the benefits of being happy in the uh, financial department, and you're looking at the other benefits of the relationship, and you're applying it to there too. When I was you know, I went a while without like really wanting to work, always trying to find an excuse of why to um, not get a job, because of stuff I've been through and me not being confident in myself on the type of job that I wanted and the pay that I felt like I should be getting. But when I was, looking for a job, and I was just looking for anything that would satisfy me at the moment and keep money in my pockets, I was kind of looking in the same way for a relationship. With someone, I was not caring about, who they really were as a person, and, what they were doing. It was just something to satisfy me for the moment. And then the more I started to look at, life and having a long, having a job that I want to retire at, I actually started to look at a relationship in the same type of way. I started wanting to get married and be in a long term relationship. So I kind of looked at it. When I looked back and actually analyzed it, I was saying, okay, now that I'm looking for a full time, uh, a long term job that wants to deal with me for forever, I'm looking for a relationship that's long term and it wants to deal with me forever. And every time I got into that situation where I was like, okay, I got to go back to the beginning now. I got to start all over. Now, I actually did that in a relationship, and I had to start all over and start from the bottom. And I felt like I had to do that with the women that I was talking to too. Start at the bottom, find someone that wants to deal with me, even though um, for my past or whatever else. I was looking for someone in some job that would deal with me with everything that I've been through and what I want to do and what I don't have. I might not have experience in that field, but I'm willing to work with someone that's willing to work with me. And I felt the same type of way in a relationship. And I was looking at my ex situation with my ex. She's a great woman, great woman. She had a good job, but she used to go through temp agencies. And the thing about going through a temp agency is that it could be permanent if you make it permanent, but most likely if you don't like the job, you could leave it at any time. And we used to break up a lot. We used to break up because somebody wasn't happy with somebody else. With me, I was breaking up at the beginning. She was like, I'm trying to do this and you're not trying to do it. And when I started to get out of that mode and started to look for everything within her, she was still on a temporary thought. So she wasn't willing to work through the problems that was presented when it was on her part, because she was like, hey,